what does it feel like to bomb in stand-up comedy? Like to fail? Maybe the psychology of it first. Like, just take me through it, because we're talking about being outnumbered in a fight, just being beat up.
Very similar. By the way, this is like a no eye contact off.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I
We're
catch
both
a glimpse
uncomfortable
of
with
it. Yeah. It's great. It's kind of nice to be with my people. But yeah,
do you need a sheet of paper to look at? Or
I'm going. I got a good sweet spot right there.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a nightmare, but it's part of it. You know, it's the validation too is the worst part. Like, because whenever you do comedy and kill, you can be a great comic, but even Dave Attell, these brilliant guys, they feel like you feel like you're getting away with something. I don't have a day job. I'm telling jokes for a living. I'm talking about my dick up here, and they're fucking loving me, and they call me a genius and all this. I'm talking about my sack, and it's great. It makes people happy, and it's funny, but that bombing, when you bomb, your first thought is like, yeah, you're right. At first, you're like, fuck you guys. What, you don't like this shit? And then you just start going in. You're like, maybe it isn't that good. Maybe they're right. I do suck. I knew I sucked. I should become a mailman, And it stinks, and you feel alone. And you feel like you wasted their time, and then you're like, what was I thinking? I could be a comedian. What the fuck? Who am I? Eddie Murphy? What am I doing here? So it's a lot of just spiraling out of horrible thoughts. But I also love that it hurts so bad. Bombing fucking hurts because now everybody doesn't do it. I think a lot more people could do comedy probably and figure it out. But the bombing is so brutal that it keeps... one time I went to Minneapolis. I was like, this is a great city. I mean, the sun is shining. Why isn't this city like packed? And they're like, because the winters are so bad and we love it because it keeps everybody out. And I feel like the same about comedy. The bombs are so brutal. I've had bombs where I'm in bed. I'm just staring at the ceiling like, what the fuck was that? Like, you have PTSD. I bombed at an arena once, 20,000 people. I did 30 minutes to silence.
So it's not just like one joke fails. It's they start piling on, like it's irrecoverable.
Yes. And one joke failing is very common. Like, a lot of audience don't even notice that bomb. Because you got so many jokes in a row. You can sandwich a good one, then a bad one, then a good one. But when you bomb, it's almost like they chose, we don't like you. Yeah. Nothing you say will redeem yourself. And it's hard to get out of. It's like being pulled down by your hair. You can't get back. I can't win this fight no matter what.
Can you get him back by acknowledging the elephant in the room that
that helps, but they're still gonna go, that was funny when he made fun of it, but he sucks.
He still sucks.
He still sucks. That's the worst part. You're going, no, this is good. You guys just don't like me. Just because you don't like me doesn't mean I'm bad.
Yeah, I like going to open mics a lot. Just listening, because first of all, I think the audience in the open mic, at least the ones I've been to, is mostly, I guess, other comedians, or at least people who don't seem to want to laugh at anything.
Yes.
And so I just love it because it's human nature and perseverance at its best. That here's comedians, clearly, this is mostly in Austin, they have a dream. Yeah. Why would you get up there?
Right. Maybe some weird, New Year's resolution bullshit, but for the most part, it's people who want to be comedians.
A lot of the open micers are people who clearly have done this for quite a long time already. Yeah. At least a year or two, maybe 5 years. And they're often not very funny. And the just bombing in front of an audience of 20, where they're just sitting there almost mocking them with their eyes, or maybe, and I don't know, and they still push through. They still as if they're doing an arena and everybody's laughing. Yeah, they still got that energy, trying almost to an audience that doesn't exist, an audience of their dreams. Because I guess that you have to do that to keep the energy of the act going, and it's just so beautiful to watch them try it. It's and also what happens, open mic, I don't know, 5 minutes, whatever they do, they walk off, and that walk back, off stage,
nightmare.
And you can't. Who do they look at? What do you look? Do you make eye contact with people? Do you?
You look at your phone. You look at your feet. You just zone out. You kind of go white. You just hear white noise and go out. It's tough. But you need a little delusion to be a comedian. To get into it, it takes a little bit of delusion. You think you can do this? You got 10 years ahead of you of hell, and you're up for this? And, most comics, we see a horrible crowd, and we see our friend bomb, and we go, yeah, he's bombing, but I'll get him. I'll get him. And then you don't get him. But that's human nature, too. Is like, they don't like him, but they'll like me. And you need a little of that to keep going as a comedian. But you don't want too much delusion, because then you're a psycho. But you need a little.
Well, the psycho could be good for a comedy.
That's true, too. A lot of psychos.